What's up YouTube, Dow here from Zephyr Games, bringing you Phantom Knights. Now, this deck is actually incredibly powerful, so thank you so much to IanB21 on Instagram, who suggested this list. This is his list. I haven't touched it. I've made some minor alterations due to different routes that the combo can take you. And at the end, I'll also show you two card combos that can variate incredibly consistent in this deck that pretty much give you an entire board lockout or an entire board OTK. With that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe to get this video to at least 50 likes, and I will bring you a test down version and duels to show you how consistent and powerful this deck is. Now let's get into today's profile of Phantom Knights, and I thought the mat was kind of relevant. Nice Dante mat with a El Shaddai window on the other side. So we start off with triple the Phantom Knights of Torn Scales. I finally picked on a playset of this, love the card. Didn't realise how cool the card was until I put this deck together. So obviously this one, you discard one card, send one Phantom Knight card from your deck to the graveyard, and it can revive itself if another one of your Phantom Knight cards in your graveyard is banished while this card is in the graveyard as well. Then of course we've got double Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak. We all know the utility behind this card, and the fact is, when it's outside or when it's inside its own in deck and not just used as a utility to get the same plays, it can actually open up a lot more doors for you. The exact same can be said about the Phantom Knights of Silent Boots, and back to the Phantom Knights of Ragged Glove. Been a long time since we've played this. And then the brand new introduction as well of the Phantom Knights of Stained Greaves. Again, this is incredibly important in this deck and actually instigates your rank 4 plays without locking you into darks. Then, of course, we've got the Free Lady herself, and that is Triple Tour Guide of the Underworld. Not only does it instigate the plays for your PKs, but it also instigates your plays for these guys, and this is, of course, your Burning Abyss lineup. So we do have the one Fiendish Rhino, pretty much a honorary Burning Abyss monster, the one Scum, the one Farfar, and then, of course, the Mac Daddies themselves of the one Seer, and hopefully coming to 3 on the next ban list, the one Graph as well. You only need ones of each of these. We want to make it more Phantom Knight focused. These two do play a massive part in the combo that you'll see towards the end, but it is, of course, you want to use these as utility cards. Scum is there as an additional search, additional summon, so is Farfar, and so is Fiendish Rhino to help instigate the combo, because pretty much the combo starts with you getting 2 level 3s on the board. That's it. That's all you need. Now, obviously, the combo will adapt and become stronger later on, depending on what 2 you start with, but it can all be instigated from either Scales, or it can also be instigated from, of course, Tour Guide, or any 2 of these. Then, of course, we've got the, cool, boring, but it is too powerful. It's a Dark Magician on Red Eyes. Ultimately, I think this deck could be played without it. It's just nice to have that fallback plan. Now, if you don't play the Red Eyes, Black Dragon, and Dark Magician, and I'm actually going to put it in here together now, the Red Eyes Fusion, these can be additional hand traps. The one thing I like about the Phantom Knight deck over the Burning Abyss deck is it's not about random luck of milling. You actually control what you send what you want at the right time. So if you wanted to remove the bricks, you can actually put more hand traps in here. You can go for Ogres, Imperms. If you're worried about going second, you put in Droplets, Dark Rulers, anything like that in place of these 3 cards. And take away that failsafe of, if I get Nibiru'd, if I get broken, if anything like that happens, I still have the ability of putting 2 monsters on the board and then going into Verti Anaconda. Then again, for generic extension, purely in this particular build, we've got triple Parallel XZs. Now, the rank 4 play is using Utopia Double into Kaiser, so all I need to do is get 2 level 4s on the board, and I'm going to be summoning Link monsters, not only with Bardiche, but I also got the Cherubini as well, so I have the ability of getting the rank 4 play to the board, and then being able to make Utopia Double on a consistent basis. Then again, just general extenders, we've got 2 Kagamucha Knight, and the 1 Raider's Wing. These again are just generic dark extenders. One thing that this deck doesn't have is a Law of Darkness, purely because, like I said, you actually want to control what you're sending. You don't want to banish a huge amount that you don't want to be doing for an additional effect rather than drawing. And because the combo is so consistent, if you open up like a Kagamucha Knight and a card that can be normal summoned, or a level 3 that can be normal summoned, you're good to go further from there as well. Now, the one card that will change on the ban list, but if it does, it's not the end of the world, is, of course, the Buster Dragon Destruction Sword. This is just the icing on top of the cake, because not only are you going to say, right, I'm going to negate all your effects with Kali Yuga, but you're also going to say, I'm not even going to let you get into the extra deck. Believe it or not, as I mentioned in the combo later on as well, the biggest weakness to this deck is something like Cosmic Cyclone, Twin Twister, or MST. Anything else you don't really mind about, because if your opponent's going to Lightning Storm you, go fine, chain into Kali Yuga. So anything like that is what's going to hurt you more than anything else. Then, of course, you get your hand traps of your triple Ash Blossom. These can be imperms, this can be maxi if it comes back up the list. It can be absolutely anything you want it to be. It is your hand trap area. And again, like I said, if you want to take out the Red Ice Fusion play as well, you've got more space to play around with. For the spells, we play a lot of one-offs. Well, I say a lot of one-offs. We play 5 one-offs. You got the one Phantom Knights rank up. You've also got the Phantom Knights rank up Magic Launch. You've got the one Reinforce of the Army, the one Double or Nothing, and the one Foolish Burial. Believe it or not, it may be a Burning Abyss engine, but your Phantom Knights are actually warriors. So, reinforcement, nice and easy. Then, of course, for your traps, you've got your triple Infinite Impermanence. You want to stop. This is probably the best hand trap in the game. So you want to stop as much as you can. And then for the Phantom Knights, we've got 2 Fog Blade, the single Wings, and the single Shade Brigandine. Again, the Brigandine is important for the rank 4 combo. The Fog Blades could actually be bumped up to 3, depending on how consistently you burn through them. But again, comes down to your personal preference and the route you want to take this deck into. Now, when I show you the extra deck, there are 18 cards that are going to be displayed before you. 3 of them are alternative options. And I'll talk about the cards that you can take out, the cards you can reduce down, just to make it consistent. But I'll also mention to you the cards that are staple first, and then I'll show you the alternations at the end. So, for your staple link monsters, you do have the Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine. It's a Phantom Knight deck. Phantom Knights of Shade Brigandine is the core player, and he gets a lot done for you. Your other core link monster is, of course, your Cherubini, Ibon, Angel of the Burning Abyss. Now, these two come together to make the full combo. Now, at the end of the combo is how it then adapts. So, depending if you're going for the Buster Lot, you've got Union Carrier, which can come out. So, this is one of your alternative cards should the Buster Lot go. And you've also got your Appaloosa, which is, again, your alternative option to Union Carrier. So, they're the only link monsters you need to play. The other staple cards that you will play going through this combo, as simple as you possibly can, will be as follows. So, if you go for combo number 1 to get you into Kali Yuga, you will go through the following cards without a shadow of a doubt. Now, you'll go through your rank 4 of Utopia Double, which will then go into, of course, Utopia Kaiser, which will then get you your number 85 Crazy Box, your number 11 Big Eye, which during your opponent's turn will instigate into a DDD Duo Dawn King Kali Yuga, and it can instigate into either a Dark Requiem or an Arc Rebellion. I'm going with Arc Rebellion personally because it is the aggressor of the two, in my opinion. If you choose to use the secondary combo, you will go through a Phantom Knights of Breaksword, a Levianeer, the Sea Dragon, and then either a Evil Swarm Nightmare and a Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon. So again, this is your alternative turn point. You're either going to go for Nightmare being defensive or Rebellion being aggressive. Then your Rebellion will, of course, turn into your Requiem Dragon, again, to be more aggressive. So you don't need to play both Arc and Requiem. You play one or the other. Or if you really, really like them and you want to go that route, you can play both of them and you cut another engine down. The final 3 cards that we have are, of course, Raider's Knight, Predaplant Verte Anaconda, and your Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Of course, this is your failsafe. Should everything go to pot, you can then go into this, make your plays. Dragoon will then bring the game back for you. Raider's Knight, I really, really like it. It does require 2 level 4 Dark Monsters, but it then allows you to go up 1 and rank into your Dark Rebellion or Arc Rebellion, sorry. So, just a quick recap on that, because I know I did display quite a few cards in front of you, just so you are aware. Staple, alongside this, which is staple, and then with Buster Lock, this is a staple. Without Buster Lock, well, this would still be a staple even without Buster Lock, to be honest. I believe Verte is not a staple, but it comes to the perfect. If you have it, you'd be foolish not to play it. It is a fail-safe. What I mean by that is, exactly as I've said a couple of times, if everything goes to pot, if your opponent stops everything, if your opponent Nibiru's you, you have a way of still winning the game. Dragoon wins games on his own. The other cards that I feel are staple in here is, of course, you will need Crazy Box, you will need your number 11, and you will need, of course, your Utopia Double to make your Utopia Kaiser into your Kali Yuga plays. So again, this is another staple 5 cards. Then, of course, for your final 5 cards of the deck, your base minimum you're going to want is your Phantom Knights of Breaksword, your Levianeer, the Sea Dragon, and then you're going to want either to go with your Nightmare or your Rebellion, and then you want to go with your Arc Rebellion or your Dark Requiem. and then Raiders Knight is a personal choice right at the end of which option you want to go with. But you would cut 3 from here. That then comes down to personal preference. If you really don't like the Kali Yuga play, don't know why you wouldn't because it's so powerful, then you can take this entire 5 rows or these 5 cards straight out. You don't even need them, they go. And then you fall back on the rest of these and go from there. So that was it for the profile. Now let me take you through the two-card combo that makes this deck insanely powerful. So now the time for the 2 different combos. Now they are 2-card combos, but they pretty much rely or are similar to themselves. Now one of them, the main difference is that you don't use one of your revival traps for the Phantom Knights. The other one you don't care if you use it early on. And obviously for the first combo, thank you so much to IanB21 on Instagram for the suggestion for the list, and of course for this particular combo. And the first combo, in my opinion, is the better one because this is what is going to pretty much lock your opponent out of the game for the next turn. Now obviously the tour guide one as well is a little bit specific. It's not massively specific, but the idea is, again, just getting 2 level 3s on the board starts the entire combo off, and then all you need to do is eventually get these guys to your graveyard. So we'll start off with the first combo. Now, the first combo is between Torn Scales and then even Wings, Ragged Gloves, or technically Fogblade as well, because Fogblade will give you that revival effect all in one. Now, you can obviously search these out. Even if you don't use these, you do have the ability, as long as you've got a discard that then leads to a special summon. It can be any of the BA monsters. It can also be Kagamusha Knight. So we'll start off by normal summoning our Torn Scales, and then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be discarding our Phantom Knights of Gloves, it doesn't matter, our Wings, any of the Fogblade, because basically the one you do discard, as long as it's a revival trap, you're then going to send the missing piece. So let's keep them consistent, considering we're going to use Fogblade with Tour Guide. We'll show you what happens when you discard that. So you discard that, and you send the Phantom Knights of Ragged Gloves. Then what you get to do is you get to banish your Fogblade, and that will revive the gloves. So straight away, all you need to do is get your rank plays going. Now from here, all you need to do is you link those 2 together, and you go into the Cherubini Ibon Angel of the Burning Abyss. Now, from this summon, obviously what you want to do is you want to send your your Graph from your deck to the grave, which will trigger his effect to special summon out your Seer. You then use Seer and Ibon Angel of Death and go into the Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardiche, triggering Seer's effect, to bring back the Cherubini. Then what you want to do from here is you want to use Phantom Knight of Rusty Bardiche's effect. Now at this point, because we're going for the rank 4 plays, what you want to do is you want to send the Cloak, and you want to make sure that you set off of the back of your Rusty Bardiche your Shade Brigandine. And this is very important because this is what is going to get you into your rank 4 plays without going through Bardiche, going through Breaksword. Then obviously what you want to do is you want to banish the Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak, and you want to add to yourself, not Boots, but you do want to add a card that is just as good, and that is, I want to find it, Greaves. And then by getting Greaves, that will trigger, of course, your Torn Scales in the graveyard because Cloak was banished. Then what you're going to do is you're going to activate the Shade Brigandine. This is going to summon itself. That will then trigger Greaves. Now, of course, if you can trigger Greaves off the back of that, it doesn't matter as long as you've got that route going. Then what you want to do from here is you want to overlay these 2 as they are now level 4, because Greaves bumps itself, and of course Shade Brigandine is a level 4, is you want to go into your Utopia Double. Use Utopia Double's effect, doesn't matter what card you're putting into the graveyard, is absolutely fine. And then by doing so, what that's going to do is that's going to add you your Double or Nothing. Now obviously if you open up your Double or Nothing, that's where it becomes a little bit of an issue, nothing major, but that's where you would then adapt your play style or your play route to go for a different outcome, which is very, very easy to do in this deck. So you get Double or Nothing, and then you get to resolve the rest of the effect of Utopia Double and go into your Utopia Kaiser. There we go. Now, it's very important you don't use Kaiser's effect yet because it locks you from special summoning. So what you want to do is you want to use your Torn Scale and your Cherubini. Keep in mind your Torn Scale is going to get banished and your Cherubini is going to go to the graveyard, and you're going to link into one of the degenerate cards of the format, and that is your Union Carrier. Now, technically, Kaiser should be nowhere near a link zone, so that can be anywhere you want. You're then going to use Union Carrier's effect, and that is going to allow you to equip to your Rusty Bardiche, making him a base of 3100 attack. The degenerate but lovely Buster Whelp. I'm so sorry that Buster Blader is going to suffer, but it happens. So this is going to equip to this, locking your opponent out of the extra deck. Beautiful. And then, of course, what you want to make sure, because you want to go for the rank up plays, is you're going to need to make sure that you banish your gloves. because then gloves will then send you your boots, and then you can banish the boots, wherever he is, to set the Phantom Knight's rank up magic launch. There we go, there's your boots, banish the boots, boom, set this. Then to finish the turn off, obviously you use Kaiser's effect, special summon 2 rank number monsters with different ranks, depending on the amount of materials you have. So obviously you've got double, and then you've got your Shade Brigandine, so you get to bring out Big Eye and Crazy Box. And obviously if you have the other rank up, or a way to get to the other rank up, you can technically do a little bit of overkill. But again, off the back of this, as you pass your turn, your opponent can't access the extra deck, hit the main phase, trigger this turns into Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga pretty much shuts off your opponent's entire board, and has the ability to nuke all the back row during the end phase, which then allows you to pretty much run rampant during the next turn, because you can use Union Carrier's effect to target this and equipped. You also have the ability to get the rank up from this and turn this into the Requiem Dragon. You've got your Kaiser that can't attack, but you can just link this off with a Union Carrier or something like that, and go into pretty much anything else you want. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reset this combo pretty much back to the basic start, and I'm going to show you how it can differ into another outcome. Okay, so this combo is again pretty similar. It's all about getting 2 level 3s on the board to get into Cherubini and going off from there. The other thing that's really different about this is that you do need to flood your graveyard with the Phantom Knight traps of both Wings and of course Fogblade to get that revival effect. So what we're going to do here is we're going to open up Fogblade, we're going to normal summon our tour guide from the Underworld. Obviously her effect is going to trigger. Now one of the big differences in this one is we're going to summon out the Graph. Now Graph won't nuke itself because its effects are negated, and then by going to the graveyard, it's going to be able to link and summon out your Cherubini Ebon Angel of the Burning Abyss. That will then trigger Graph's effect to let you special summon out Seer, and then that will allow you to use Cherubini Ebon Angel to send from your deck to your graveyard the Ancient Knight of Cloak. And then by doing so, you can link these two together, go into your Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardiche, and that is of course going to trigger Seer's effect to bring back your Cherubini Ebon of the Burning Abyss. Now by using the effect of the Phantom Knight of Rusty, what you want to do is you want to set a Fogblade. Keep in mind this is in your hand, and you're going to send from your deck to your graveyard your Torn Scales. Then what you're going to do is you're going to banish your Ancient Cloak. Ancient Cloak will allow you to add Boots. Because one of your Phantom Knights was banished, you're going to be able to bring back the Torn Scales. You're then going to be able to special summon down the Boots. You can then use Torn Scales effect to send the Fogblade you've opened up with to the graveyard. And that is going to allow you to send another Phantom Knight from your deck to the graveyard. Now, if you haven't already got the Wings in the graveyard, that's what you want to send. You can also send Gloves to banish Gloves and do an effect from there. That is, again, entirely up to you. Then from this point on, what you want to do is you want to overlay these two into your Levianeer, the Sea Dragon. You want to detach the Phantom Knights of Torn Scale so it doesn't get banished, because we're going to loop that a couple of times. And that's going to bring back your Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak. Then you're going to link together your Levianeer, your Cherubini, and your Cloak, putting them all back into the graveyard to get you a free negate Appaloosa. Now obviously this is way past 5 summons, so this is just at that period where your opponent goes, I'll wait, and then go, oh crap, I waited too long. Now obviously the big important thing about this graveyard is that it is now stacked with 2 Phantom Knight cards that are going to be able to bring cards back for you. So what you want to do is you want to banish the Fogblade, and you want to bring back your Cloak. You want to banish the Wings, and we're going to bring back the Torn Scales. Now you only have technically those 2 cards plus the Boots in your graveyard, and the Boots is going to be banished to get you another Phantom Knight spell or trap. So then what you want to do here is you want to overlay your Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak and your Phantom Knights of Torn Scale, and you're going to go into Breaksword, which will trigger the effect of Rusty Bardiche to pop this, sending it to the graveyard, and that will then trigger to bring both of these back as level 4s. Now obviously from this point on, it is entirely up to you whether you want to go into the Nightmare, which means you can Book of Moon 2 of your opponent's monsters, and you'll also be able to back it up with a second Fogblade, or what you're going to do is you can overlay these into your Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, and then rather than setting a second Fogblade, you're going to banish the Boots, and you're going to set yourself the Phantom Knights of rank up Magic Force. And then obviously what that will allow you to do is during your opponent's turn, you can go into the Art Rebellion, or you can go into the Requiem Dragon. Interesting outcome. I think this is more of a power play. I think this is easily interrupted. The big difference, in my opinion, is the fact that you can use an abuse Fog Blade. But at the end of the day, a Twin Twister, believe it or not, is going to be your biggest weakness in comparison to the two of them. Because keep in mind, this needs to be waited till the main phase. So if they shotgun Twin Twister early on, you've got no way of stopping that. So if you are facing against this, that's one of the best cards, or even a Cosmic Cyclone. Heck, even an MST would do the job for you on that one. So yeah, that is it for both combos. Thank you so much to IanB21 on Instagram for the list and suggestion. And yeah, it's nice to... I didn't do Phantom Knights a while ago because I just didn't have everything together. It was then suggested, and I was like, right, okay, I might as well pick up all the bits. Picked up all the bits and was like, oh, heck, this deck's actually really fun to play. And very, very powerful. Of course, it does lose out to Nibiru, but if your opponent is inexperienced and they drop the Nibiru too early, you will still have graveyard effects to allow you to come back into the game, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. One of the weaknesses right now is going second. Again, you'd have to burn through so many resources in your hand to maintain and then gain the additional advantage, but that's where stuff like Forbidden Droplet can come into play, and where other cards can come into play as well to help turn off your opponent's board, help you build your board, and you can see how powerful your board can be, both aggressive and defensive, so it really does come down to the route you want to take it. Anyway, before my mouse falls off my laptop, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. If you get this video up to at least 50 likes, I'll do full test times with you. I'll even take this deck to my locals and give it a proper run out. Proper, very British. We'll give it a proper run out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys, as absolutely always, stay safe and happy dueling.